Hi everybody, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day you just might be watching this. Okay, so this morning, here we are, beautiful bright sunny morning. I am Claire and this is Come Cook with Claire. And our cook along today is scones. Okay, so we're going to make some lovely scones today. So, okay, if you're watching this live or later on, give me a little wave, a little like, a little comment. Tell me where you're cooking from. Tell me your name so I can say hello to you. There is a big special hello to two little boys in Australia this morning, or their late afternoon. We've got Henry, who's my nephew. Hi Henry. Mwah. We're going to be making some scones with you. And then we've got Kian. They used to live in the UK and his sister used to come, excuse me, all croaky. His sister used to come to the cookery sessions when they lived in the UK. So it's really nice that he's getting to cook along with us. Okie dokie, so we are going to be making some scones. Now you may notice my surroundings are a little bit different this morning. I haven't gone on a naughty holiday. I'm actually in my little vintage caravan which sits on the front of my drive, and I thought that as we're not going to be going away in it at all this year, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do some cook-alongs that aren't too messy in my little caravan. So I don't know if you can see, I've got a little oven thing going on there. Oh, there's me. It's all very vintage and chicy and it is adorable. I love it. Okay, so on to the scones this morning. Lots of different versions. We can make some plain scones, some fruity scones, some cheese and chive scones, or some chocolate version of scones. Okay, morning everybody, afternoon, evening, wherever you might be. Give me a little like, a hello, a heart or something. Let me know that you're watching. So let's start. We need a mixing bowl. I've got stuff a little bit all over the place here, so bear with me. We need a rolling pin. Okay, if you have a ruler to hand, you can grab a ruler. If not, I'm going to show you on a finger how much we need. You need half a cup measuring spoon. You need a third of a cup measuring spoon. And you need a quarter of a cup measuring spoon. Or if you're using scales, a set of scales. We need various utensils, a wooden spoon, knife, fork, spoon, whatever you've got to hand, a baking tray, and very importantly, some form of a cookie cutter, whichever shape or one you've got. Any one at all is fine. Right, so if you want to pop off and go and wash your hands, I'm going to put a pair of gloves on just so I don't keep disappearing and unsteady my caravan because it's a little bit slopey on our driveway. And we will begin. So, scones. Right, so I'm going to make up one batch of plain scones. Okay. Oh, good morning, Leah from Bournemouth. Morning, Bailey. Morning. So I'm going to make up one batch of plain scones and I'm going to split mine in half and I'm going to do a cheesy version and a chocolate version as it is Easter. So you can add whichever ones to those that you want. So to start with, we need 175 grams of self-raising flour. If you're doing it by the measuring cups, you need 1 cupful of flour. So fill your cup nice and level. We'll get a bit messy because it's flour. Pop that into your bowl. Okay, that's that one. We don't need that one anymore. Let's put the flour to one side. Okay, next, baking powder. Oh, I can never talk on a Saturday. Baking powder we need. All right, we need half a teaspoon, which is pretty much all I've got left in mine actually. Okay, that's that. So we're not doing any more recipes with baking powder. That's that one gone in. With your wooden spoon, just give that a little mix around. So you've got self-raising flour and a bit of baking powder. Okay, next up is the butter. Any form of butter you've got, real butter, margarine, spread, it doesn't matter. So you need a quarter of a cup level of butter, or that is 40 grams, okay? 40 grams or 1/4 of a cup. That goes into your flour mixture. In that goes like that. Scoop it all off. We're going to get messy hands, so don't worry about your mess because we know we're going to have a good old clear up at the end. Right, that is the basis of the dry ingredients. Now when you come to add in milk, although it is 80 mils of milk, okay, which is a third of a cup, you don't want to pour it all in at the same time. Because if you do and it gets too wet, you can't take some out. You've got to keep trying, doing things again. So what I would like you to do is just give your butter and your flour a nice mix around. Just so the butter flattens into the flour a little bit. Very simple ingredients to make scones. Quite store-covered ingredients. Oops. Hello. So sorry about that. I just rocked the caravan and down went my phone. Okay, I'm hoping I'm coming to you without any breaking up or distortment as I'm slightly away from my Wi-Fi. Do let me know if I am, because then I'll know for next time not to come in here. But it's just a bit of fun, and also the rest of my family can walk in and out of the kitchen without getting in shot or distracting me in any way. That was the plan. So here we go. That's your butter, your flour and your baking powder all mixed in. Now you need your milk, which I've left down the other end of my cute little caravan. So I'm coming back now. And here I am. Milk. Okay, so as I said, we want a third of a cup or 80 mils of milk. So I'm going to pour my milk into my cup first off. Put that out of the way. Now I'm only going to add a little bit at a time. Never add it all in because you just can't take it away. And it's a nightmare to start again. Okay, so I've added about a quarter to start with. And I'm just mixing that around until it all starts to form a dough. So I'm going to add a little bit more. So I've used about half of my cup, so about 40 mils I've put in so far. Any milk, full fat, skimmed, soya, semi-skimmed. You can make these gluten-free. You can use free from flour. You can use dairy-free butter if you want to make a vegan version and the soya milk, or if you're just dairy intolerant. Now, as I said, not to add it all at the same time, because I wouldn't probably add any more to mine because you're looking for a sticky dough. So if you get your hands in, scoop everything around the bottom of your bowl. So as your dough thickens and goes nicely sticky, it will take all of the remnants off your bowl. So it almost cleans the bowl for you. The same with your hands if you're doing this on the worktop. It would all come together to form a dough. Let me move that one out of the way. It will all come together to form a dough like this. So I definitely don't want to add any more milk. So I've definitely only added 40 mils of milk to that. Don't add any more. I'll change that on the recipe. That's the beauty of adding a little bit at a time. So what I've got is a dough that I can tear apart, I can flatten down, I can roll it, and it's not falling apart. Now, if yours is dry, just add a little bit more milk. If yours is too sticky, just add a little bit more flour. But hopefully, because you've added everything gradually, you'll get the right consistency that you need. Morning to my sister, Lisa. Hello. We're in our caravan, Lisa, all the way from Australia. This is wonderful. This is great connection. This is the beauty of virtual cooking, all the fabulous technology that's available these days. And she's not seen inside my caravan because she's been gone too long in Australia in the sun. So here we are. So what we need now is a little bit of flour on your work surface, okay, so we can start to roll this out. Now, using your rolling pin, you want to roll this out to about 4 centimetres thick. Now, if you're unsure what 4 centimetres looks like, I have a... But oh, we're watching our oven's broken. Well, you can watch and be nosy, and then you can cook them later on. So, if you've got a school ruler, you're looking for 4 centimetres. Okay, that really doesn't look right on mine, to be honest. Let's cancel that. That doesn't make any sense at all because they will be way too thick. Right, so squash that up. Let's cancel that. I'm talking nonsense. Okay, I'm being put off. So, yeah, I don't know why that centimetres like that. Maybe it was no, and it wouldn't be inches either. Anyway, so what you're looking for is the thickness. I'll take my glove off. of an adult thumb. Ignore my 5 centimetres. So an adult thumb from the tip to the base, that's how thick, probably can't see that, that's how thick you want your dough to be. Okay, so if you're a small child, a little bit thicker than your thumb, or if you've got your adult with you, borrow their thumb and just lean it against the dough, and that's how thick you want it to be. Okay, not 5 centimetres, ignore that, it's about a centimetre or 2. Really, I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, so here we go, we've got the lovely dough, nice and thick. Now we're going to get our cookie cutter. These are for your plain ones. Okay, so I'm going to cut one. You'll get 4 or 5 out of these. I'm cutting out 1 scone out of that one. Okay, my second scone, I'm going to grate chocolate on the top of it. So my second one I've cut out. I'm getting my bar of chocolate, any chocolate you've got, is just really just a tiny little bit, unless you're making a huge batch to feed all your neighbours. Okay, a little grater, and I'm grating chocolate all over the top, so as that cooks, all that chocolate will melt into the scone. It'll be quite delicious, especially as it's Easter. It's just a little take on different versions of scones that you can make. This is where your flair and your imagination, you see that one? So I've just got a little bit of chocolate grated on the top of that one. So I've got a plain and I've got a chocolate one. Now the next one I want to do is cheese and chive, because that's the sort of thing is my favourite thing. So yes, use your imagination. If you're using fruit, some dried fruit, add your dried fruit to it now. I'm adding just a small clump of grated cheese, about a tablespoon, and measure your herbs or spices onto your hand first before they go into your mix. So if you add too many, you can easily take them out. So here, a little bit of chives going on that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix all that in. So all the cheese is going inside of my dough. I'm pressing down on my work surface with the bits of leftover cheese and chive I've got. Never want to waste anything. And that's all coming together. So all the cheese has gone all the way through that. If you're making one batch that is one flavour, you can do this in your bowl at the mixing stage. I just wanted to show you different versions of scones that you can do. I'm not a fan of sultanas, so I'm not going to do them ones. But I do like chocolate ones, and I do like cheese and chive, and I do like the plain ones. So the plain ones will work very nice with a bit of jam and a bit of butter, or cream, if you've got some cream. The chocolate ones probably just cut open with a bit of butter, very yummy. And same with the cheese and chives. So I've mixed all of my cheese and chives into my scone mix. So again, a little bit of flour on my work surface. I'm going to roll that out. Now if it's gone a bit sticky like mine, because I've added the cheese, it's a bit of more moisture gone in. I've just added a little bit of flour to the top and the bottom. Okay, so I'm rolling that out, top and bottom, so it doesn't stick to my work surface. So again, an adult thumb thickness, and this will double in size, especially if you're using self-raising flour. It will double in size when it goes in the oven. So cutter, and I'm going to get 2 more out of those. A nice thick size of scone. Just push my pastry together a little bit, so the scraggle bits have come into the middle, and I'm pushing that down. And there's another great scone. So I probably haven't got enough for 1 scone here, so this will be the tasting one, which I'm just going to roll into a rough shape of a scone, like so, and that's going to be the tester. Now when they're on your baking tray, with your baking paper, ideally, I am obsessed with baking paper because I never like anything to stick, and I don't like washing up that much. So on here I have my chocolate one, I have my plain one, and then I've got 1, 2 cheese and chive scones, and then I've got my taster of cheese and scone. Okay, if you've got little chocolate chips that you're not going to grate, you can squeeze those into your scone. So you've got little bits going all the way through the top of them. So with that leftover milk that we've got, if you've got a brush, a pastry brush, which you paint pastry with, you can use that to just brush the tops of your scones. When they come out the oven, they come out really golden. Or like me, left your pastry brush in the kitchen and you're in your caravan. I'm just dipping my fingers. They're only for us. Obviously, I wouldn't do this if I was doing it for a party. Just dip your fingers in and just dab the milk on the top of your scones, okay, all the different ones, even my tester one, even my chocolate one. I'm just dabbing them on so they go a nice golden brown when they come out the oven. Take those off. Right, there we go. Okay, so we've made quite a bit of mess. So you need to make sure all your ingredients go back in the fridge, and you don't leave any mess at all. You wash all your utensils up in the washing up bowl, and you, with a dishcloth with soapy water, you wipe all your workstation all about, and if you've dropped any flour on the floor, you need to sweep that up as well, okay? This is why mums don't mind you using the kitchen, because you've cleared up. So these will now go into, just double check that, a 200-degree hot oven. So you need to preheat it about 10 or 15 minutes. Some of the ovens have a little, they bleep at you if there's over each temperature, but ideally you do need to make sure the oven is already hot before these go in. Okay, so that's 200 degrees or gas mark 7. You want 10 to 12 minutes on your timer. Always put a timer on while you're clearing up and these are in the oven, or you get sidetracked and you forget. So they will double in size. So set your timer for 10 minutes, okay, then open up the oven door and just check them. If you think they need a little bit longer, put them back in for 2 minutes, but 10 minutes seems to do the trick. They're double in size. You just leave them for a few minutes to cool down, and then you slice across the middle, so you've got 2 halves, so it's like a burger bun. And as I say, you can add some butter into your flavoured ones. You can add some cream and some strawberries or some jam and butter into your plain one. And your chocolate one, I'm just going to add a bit of butter. And there's only one of those, and I'm having that. So, there we go, scones. Right, so do send me some pictures of what your scones look like when they come out the oven, if you enjoyed making them. If there's any requests of anything you'd like us to cook next week, please let me know. If not, I shall choose something over the weekend and I'll post it on this page to let you know what ingredients and utensils you need. As I say all the time, just whatever you can get hold of, don't panic too much. I'm trying to make things so we can adapt them and there's not too much stress. Yes, and that's it. So thank you for joining me to cook our scones this morning in my little caravan. Happy Easter. Enjoy the weather in your garden. Stay indoors and share your Easter eggs and don't eat them all in one day. That's the advice I'm going to be giving my children. So, toodle pip. Bye.